Our video focused on sexuality and how it is shaped by social structures such as education and the media. Through education, a person becomes knowledgeable and can then utilize that knowledge to guide them through decision-making, life experiences, and guide them in the exploration of one's identity. Children's knowledge on sex, sexuality, and sexual desires is dependent on the education system, their parents, and the media. The anxieties regarding children as sexual individuals is rooted from the fear of early exposure. This unease causes parents and adults to reinforce the ideation that sex is something to be taken very seriously, which leads to parents and adults trying to preserve their children's innocence because sex is seen as something for adults only, and if you are married. The value of sex in Western societies are based on a set hierarchical system. Because of cultural norms and values, sex is institutionalized and will therefore continue to shape our society. In regards to schools and their role in shaping identities, schools promote what they consider the norm, which are taught through both forms of hidden and formal curriculum. Because of our society's dominant cultural norms and values, sex education classes focuses primarily on heterosexuality, which teaches students that heterosexual sex is normal and pushes them towards the ideation of marriage. This reinforcement of dominant cultural norms and values in the education system is harmful because it represses and stigmatizes same-sex interactions. It becomes problematic when individuals are unable to define who they are due to lack of knowledge, language, and vocabulary. Here are a few examples of sex education being portrayed in the media.
Don't have sex, because you will get pregnant and die. Don't have sex in the missionary position. Don't have sex standing up. Just don't do it. Promise? Okay, everybody take some rubbers.
What's next? These portrayals of how sex is being taught in our education system, depicted in the forms of movies and TV shows, also show media as another form of sex education.
Also, media shapes the way sexuality is structured within our culture through advertisement ads, social media, and the internet. Within media, culture has shaped people's approach to sexuality by articulating their sexual identity, desires, relationships, emotions, and behaviors. Dating has changed over time. The understanding of romance in human relationships as the idea of dating has become more normal in social interactions. It is generalized as a desire that influences behaviors, actions, and more. This also gives people the idea that based on the genitals they have, define if they are male or female. Gentiles should not give people the approval of gender because a transgender person can act out masculinity or femininity. Due to the focus of culture being heteronormative, hooking up was once seen as a heteronormative culture. It is now a party scene where people are able to experience and explore with same-sex sexual behavior between women. The public opportunity provided new and more opportunities for women to come out. Parties and alcohol in the party scene facilitate same-sex behavior due to the increase of same-sex sexual behavior being socially acceptable. Women are able to embrace their new sexual identities because of the increase in acceptance of same-sex sexual behavior and practices.
They also focus on heteroromantic storylines and how the construct heterosexuality in the films is portrayed. You see a lot of sex even in the media where they learn about heterosexuality, heteroromantic love, and heterosexiness in ways that display love and sexiness, which are allowing children to choose at a young age how they want to portray themselves and what they want to portray themselves as, and what they like based off of images that they see in media according to things like Instagram, movies, and TV shows. Media has a powerful influence when it comes to making people what seems to be desirable and what society deems acceptable as something that people want and desire. Therefore, whatever is the trend or norm at that time is typically what's desirable and acceptable. These are the types of things that makes a person's sexuality something that society is structured by. If it is not already acceptable or considered normal, people tend to have hard times accepting it, which creates barriers for people outside what is considered the norm. In return, a person might feel restricted and less confident in terms of being able to identify in ways that allow them to be true to themselves without stigmas and barriers placed around them that society condones.
Here's an example of how sexuality is shaped in a party scene.
no. Oh, shit.
I think I'm drunk. You guys are so cute together.
No.
I'm with Teddy.
So you guys are never hooked up?
No.
You're blushing. No, I'm not. You are. You guys have got to relax.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Because sexuality is shaped by social structures and institution, it does not allow much room for individuality and it creates inner self-restrictions. Therefore, if we look at sexuality as a language, it allows a person or community to not feel restricted by societal norms in hopes of creating new language that fits a person's culture of sexuality.